viewers can see the connections on the back.
Yeah, that's fine.
You get up a lot earlier on these shoot days.
Live on it.
No, this is the $150 unit.
The director's deathly ill, so I guess I get an opportunity to move up to a new position. And not only am I operating the camera, I'm also directing. So.
Fun is really important. Can technology and fun go hand in hand? No, not today. I have an adage that I go by when I'm doing a presentation. I don't use technology. I use the theater of the mind. That way nothing can crash out on me. When it comes to my home, sure, I use some technology. But I'm still trying to keep it to such a degree that even my kids can operate it. So how much technology do I have for having fun? Not a lot. But using technology properly gives me the time that I need to have fun. Technology gives me the time, I go out and have the fun.
Dave Chalk Connected is brought to you by TELUS. The future is friendly.
I heard a shocking statistic the other day, whereas I thought the average age of a gamer was like 29, they're now saying it's in the 40s. And that women have now outpaced men, especially when it comes to online gaming. 52% of online gamers are women. It's saying something. I don't know what that is, but it's telling us something.
This much, it's barely getting me in.
Back further? No, that's perfect. In the next
Yeah, I need to stay in it because what's happening is it feels like I'm not part of it.
Okay.
So,
All right. You all right?
Yeah.
When Dave's finished over here with the Atari, the camera's going to go to you while Dave comes and sits around, but then we're probably going to stop.
All right, mark
Before
it.
we pick up on Dave.
Show 6, segment 1-7 alpha, take 2, marker.
And action.
Well, gaming is a very big thing when it comes to computers. Games have been around for years, from board games to the early mechanical games that you found in arcades, eventually up to console games that we found for computers. This is an Atari 2600 that came out in about 1979. The cost about $199. In today's dollars, meaning it was about $800 of effective income you would have needed to buy it. It revolutionized game playing for a couple of reasons. You hooked it directly to your TV to play the games. What looked like a powerful computer really was nearly 1,000 times slower than computers in the marketplace today. And the amount of memory on board, well, believe it or not, this had about 2 million times less RAM memory than today's computers. The game it came with was Combat, but some of the very early popular games like Pac-Man and Asteroids were some of my favorites. I want to show you now a rebirth of old games. For those of you who spent a lot of your misguided youth playing games, they're back again with a vengeance and a whole new low-cost, exciting way to play them, connected once again back to your television.
Well, retro gaming is huge now, and this is the coolest thing. This is the Atari Flashback Classic Game Console. It's actually got 20 built-in games. Remember the first Atari 2600 you're showing there? 15 of those. And if you're a total retro gamer, this is actually modeled after the next generation, the Atari 7800.
Right, the actual sloping design, even the game controllers look similar.
But small.
But small. So the concept here is this is the entire unit with the games built right in. Now here's 2 of the games right here. You can see the whole unit is roughly that size. So this is how many games built into it, Mike?
20.
20 games built right in. It's a kind of complete unit. You don't add on to it. You power it up with the power cord into the wall. The audio video here goes out and into your TV or monitor, and you're ready to play. Menu comes up, and Mike, what's your favorite here?
Well, this is cool. It's got 15 of the 2600 games and 5 of the 7800 games. And I mean, you just scroll through here and push the button when you want to play the game.
So the Asteroids was my big one. But you're going to have to be someone that really had a thing for Atari games and want to go back and play this. Here's a low-cost way of getting into it. But Atari flashbacks aren't the only ones, because what we've got here, too, if we can break Mike away from that, is Sega Genesis.
That was huge.
Game
that was
controller.
the big thing, you know, whether you had a ColecoVision or a Sega Genesis. And now you've got it all in this one little box. You've got 6 games built in.
Here's the box. Game controller here. All the games are built into this. Audio, video controls right into it. Power adapter goes into the wall. Same sort of thing.
And if you're a big arcade buff, and
Yeah.
I know you got hooked on a couple games.
Asteroids only was it.
Asteroids. This one's super cool. This is a Namco
So
one.
again, these would have been the games you would have found in an arcade rather than being on the console in your home that you went in and put in your quarters to play.
And just to keep in mind, those arcade games, those are the actual games built into this
Yes.
one little joystick.
And you can see sort of styled, and both of these here, like an arcade game without the console. But see, if you put this thing down in front of the TV, you're kind of getting the picture there.
This one's cool. It has Miss Pac-Man, pole position,
Which was really
Xevious,
huge.
and Galaga. I mean, I spent so many quarters on
And
that.
these are in the market now for about $30. A great sort of Christmas or birthday gift. If you're having people over and you just want to have some fun, this is a great old way to get connected again with some of the crazy games. My brother, Colin, figured out the secret to this one. He could play it for hours.
You know what's really cool? I mean, you know, your kids are probably going to look at this and go, "Oh my gosh, you know, like this is nothing compared to the 3D graphics."
This is
we
for
have
the
now."
retro. This is for people who played these when they were young.
But you know, it's cool. Like if you know someone that is into the retro games, you know, or grew up in the '80s, a great gift. But also, a great thing to take along to the cabin or just keep in the kids'
you know,
room.
this is something you can just keep in have it ready to go, plug it in, and you're ready to go. All the arcade games are back again in their complete versions, fun to play, low-cost price. Remember, game playing is big. It's many people now, 30s, 40s, and 50s playing games, and this industry is over $11 billion a year and only growing. If you want to go back and have some fun, check these out.
Sort of
We didn't get
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
We forgot to talk about SpongeBob. So SpongeBob SquarePants, one of the latest ones. These are not retro games, but this is an idea of MTV's cartoon series, which is really popular. Great little control unit here. 5 games built into this one. I think, Tristan, 5 in this one, around $30. Again, direct connect up to your TV. Are we powered up? Jan, can you power this one up for a second? And we're definitely going to see a lot more of this style of game coming where you just have the whole unit, take it with you, take it to the cottage, plug it into the TV, and you're ready to go right away. So we were talking retro for a minute, but if you want to look at contemporary, this is also where you're going to start to see these things go as well. And I haven't even played this one yet.
It's cool. It's like Breakout, except with a big sponge.
And some graphics.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
We all set?
Let's move on to the next segment.
Let's roll. There's no doubt video games have come a long way. I mean, they used to be little block characters, and you couldn't even tell they're human. And now when you look at these video games, they are like movies. It's complete 3D graphics, and they're so good, they look like something that you'd go to a movie theater and watch. But the cool thing is you can actually play along. And I'm almost kind of jealous about that, because my kids now, they get to step in now where the games are just amazing. And I had like a little square, and I had to pretend that was a knight or a dragon.
Are you leaving it like that? You're doing that one more button.
No, like this.
That's what all the hip guys do. It's what the kids are doing.
I think the difference between Dave and I when it comes to fun is Dave's a little more old-fashioned. He's not as much into the technology as I am. Like, I could sit at my computer for hours just tinkering around. I think he would lose interest after about 10 minutes. He's really got to be focused on something, whereas I can just kind of explore and go in all different directions.
So he's actually going to play the game then, right?
One of my goals on this show, being a show on technology, is I want to let you see how we actually make a TV show. Right now, we're checking out the shots with our producer Bradley away today, between Mark, Dana, and Felicity and I. We're checking out how Mike is looking on. This is a segment he's going to do by himself. These 2 monitors are connected to our 2 cameras up here. Sean is running camera 2. He'll pick up all of Mike's tight shots. This is the main camera that Mark would operate. Lawrence here has a handheld monitor. We're capturing video here at about 30 megabits per second. Mike, are you ready?
I think I am.
This is what the director would do right now. I'm going to call for action, turn on the camera, and...
Well, one of the most widely anticipated games this year is Halo 2 for the Xbox. And just to kind of give you an idea of kind of numbers we're talking about, in the first day alone, they sold over $125 million worth, US, of the game. That's bigger than any movie opening ever. Halo 2 is actually a sequel to the popular Halo game, and basically it's a first-person shooter. So you go around on a big outer space Halo, which is kind of like a circular world, and try to defeat the enemy, the Covenant. And there's all sorts of great new features. It really carries on the great theme of the first episode, but adds a whole bunch of new cinematics. It's like watching and playing a movie, and also all sorts of new weapons as well. You can play all the different Covenant, which are the enemy's vehicles, and different types of sniper rifles. And as you get deep into the game, you'll find that there's a lot of online multiplayer capability as well. The Xbox has the Xbox Live feature, and they're saying that over 50% of the people that buy the new Halo 2 will actually be playing this online. And check this out. Just like DVD movies, they've got a limited collector's edition now as well. So you can buy the normal one, or you can get this, the collector's one. And with the collector's, you get 2 DVD discs. One, which is the game, and the second one, which is actually much like a DVD movie disc. It's got the deleted behind-the-scenes footage, how they actually made the game, and production notes as well that you can play in your Xbox DVD player or any home DVD player for that matter. Video games really have come a long way, and they are rivaling the whole movie entertainment industry. They say that the video game industry is now bigger than movies, and I can see why. With graphics like this, it's like being in the movie and playing along as an actor.
And cut. Good job. That was fast talking, Mike.
I know.
So all of that would be captured onto tape, which we would take back to our studio and edit on personal computers, which I intend to show you in an upcoming show. Can you talk any faster next time?
Sorry,
How are we doing?
We're doing good. We gotta get going though. Otherwise we're gonna fall behind again.
Might have a little talk with Bradley, how to keep things nice and calm. It seems like today there's very low stress.
Bradley's in rehab.
Oh, rehab.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. We're losing this daylight so fast. Like, we should actually take that ND off right now, guys.
Okay.
So I'll take responsibility for that because that was bad planning on my part for planning the segment at the end of the day rather than the beginning of the day. Didn't take into account the light going down, and we pre-lit or pre-put the ND on the windows to try and save time, but now it backfired because we don't have enough light, so we have to take it off.
That term ND you've been hearing, it stands for neutral density. It's a plastic film we put over glass when sunlight is going to come through. However, because the light is starting to drop here, we're going to have to pull it off and sort of fight with this to try and make it work.
Marker. Stand by. And action.
If you don't spend a lot of time in the gaming world, it's hard to know what is popular or what to buy for someone who might be interested in gaming. Surprisingly enough, it's not all shoot 'em up. The #1 game of all time in computer gaming is The Sims. And this is The Sims 2. What is it? Well, it's a way of living vicariously through other people's lives.
You get to play God.
You might say the characters are born, and then they die, and everything that happens in between is up to you.
It really is amazing. You start off with the create a sim, and literally there's infinite numbers of facial expressions you can create with your own sim character.
It's all part of the game, developing your character you're going to
There's
use.
over 10,000 outfits and accessory options as well. And the cool thing is, once you've created your sim, it's got DNA. You can actually pass the genetics, the DNA, down to the kids as you go along.
Well, that's the one thing we didn't
it's like real
add.
life.
Of course, this is like real life, and the characters in here can mate and have offspring. So this is the full meal deal.
And you really determine what their destiny is. What is their focus? Is it love, romance? Is it greed? Is it knowledge? You give all these characteristics to your Sims, and then they start doing their lives. And you can even do things like control what kind of houses they have. There's over 2,500 different building options for houses and stuff
You
like
build
that.
communities, you build towns, you build interactivity, you've got everything to do with the community you live in. This is a full-scale, everything to do with life. This is what has made it the most popular game in the world, and with women, it is the #1 player of this game is also women. So if you're looking just to get into gaming, this might be one of the ways you want to do it. It's a relatively good price, and it's fun for the whole family.
Cut. Awesome. Good for time, content?
Yep.
All right, great job, guys.
Work with me, Mike. There you go. You're looking like a news anchor.
I thought
Maybe that's what it is. I'm looking like a little news anchor.
#1 rule, never have drinks on set.
You did that.
That would be me.
Which one is it?
You're killing me. You're killing me.
It seems like I'm always looking for a battery for something these days. Might be a good time just to review the typical batteries that are in the marketplace these days. Alkaline is the most common battery. It comes by many manufacturers. When you're buying a new device, you might get them by Panasonic, Duracell, and this is a no-name. And for the most part, you can buy a no-name brand, you'll get pretty good power out of them. They're reasonably priced, and they do a good job. If you're looking for something with a high drain, meaning for a digital camera, you want to stay away from the alkaline. You want to go to lithium. Now, these are not the lithium-ion rechargeables that you hear about. These are a lithium, and they come in many shapes and sizes, perfect for digital cameras. They also have a very good shelf life, up to 10 years. This is the type of battery you want to use in your smoke detector or an emergency flashlight. That's two of them, so the alkaline and the lithium. But if you want to take it a step further and get into the rechargeable, I'm recharging some right here. These are the nickel metal hydride. These replaced the NiCad a number of years ago. The great thing about these batteries is they are rechargeable. Remember one thing though, they do have a natural drain on them. They shouldn't be reused in emergency equipment because after about 6 months, they'll drain naturally. So quick recap. Your standard, alkaline, use it in most everything. Digital camera, smoke detector, emergency, use the lithium. And the rechargeable is a great battery that you can use over and over again, but do not use it in emergency equipment because it will die a natural death itself.
Mike and I are like this when it comes to gaming. He goes that way and I go that way. I enjoy it, I think it's fun. But you know, the Dave story is, I like doing my things. I like building, driving my tractor, my lawnmower, getting out with the kids. I've said that 100 times. Mike really enjoys, well, sitting at the computer with his kids and playing games, but I want to be outside, and that's a really big part of my life. So for me, games, it's not that it's not a good thing. I just have a better, it's opportunity cost. There's something I want to do more than sit in front of the computer. I also do radio. I love doing it. Mike now does the radio show. And to be totally truthful, when my children were born, I made a commitment. My radio show was on Saturday mornings, that I was going to be home on Saturdays. Therefore, Mike, you take the show.
Women know how to use computers?
I'm surprised they're allowed.
To stop all the thousands of emails that will come flooding in, I was joking. It is I that can barely use the computer. Yeah, so scoot over to your left. There we go.
All right, mark it.
Show 6, segment 4-7, take 1, mark.
And action.
Who says technology can't be fun? Playing with the latest in RC cars. This is a Dodge Ram.
Mike and I are
Manly.
both battling over the same radio frequency right now to see who will control it.
This one's pretty cool. It comes with everything you need right out of the box. It's got a 9.6 volt rechargeable battery in the truck itself and includes the AA batteries for the remote control. And you can check this thing out here. This is 4-wheel drive, man. You've got the shock absorbers built into all the wheels here, and you can take this thing off-road.
And a new trend, we're seeing batteries included with devices these days. The big thing here, though, is the technology. Just a few years ago, it would have cost hundreds of dollars to have the wireless transmitters that are required between the unit and the handheld device. These are down to just a couple of dollars in most cases now, and more sophisticated ones coming on the market every day. Go into any store and you'll see all sorts of these remote control devices, from the smaller ones, around $50, going up to $100, and even gigantic ones that are out in the marketplace with all sorts of remote control, the ability to control many of the different parts. I see we have a Sea-Doo on this one, which makes it handy. Take it down to the pool. But bottom line, they can be fun, they're low cost, and they are almost indestructible. Young kids can have fun with them, and it's great for the manual dexterity and gets them off the computers. But where is all this going? Where's the next trend going to be? Well, of course, it's going to be robotics. The word robot actually comes from the Czechoslovakian word robota. It was first coined in the 1920s in a play called R.U.R. You can do some research on that on Google and press your friends if you want. But this is the one in the marketplace right now. This is called Robo Sapien, and the developer of this one actually worked in some very sophisticated roles in government agencies, everything from DARPA, NASA, and the Jet Propulsion Laboratories. Very sophisticated in its operation and definitely leading in the marketplace right now. About $130, but a lot of actuating movement. The remote control, as you can see here, a lot of controls on it. It is infrared, not wireless, meaning it does have to see the head of the robot, but you wouldn't want this thing to get out of sight anyway. One command here is the wake up. We'll see him come to life, and you can see articulation all over the body. Here's a fun one that I just practiced with a minute ago. You hit it once and we get the green light, meaning the green functions work. He wants to pick up the bucket. Oh, he's got it. And this one is a simple throw. It may look simple, but very sophisticated to actually get it to do it. Now, how much fun you would get out of this depends on the interest you would have in programming. You can program up to 80 levels of motion And the manufacturer's website also has a great community on there where people are working with these all the time and coming up with patterns and great motions, because all the motions are programmable from the hand or the claw, from elbows. There's even some reactionary motion that can be incorporated into it. So you can do it yourself. You can go to the website. You can have some fun. You can chase the cat and scare the dog and do all sorts of fun things.
Make them dance again. Make them dance.
I've had Mike programmed here for a while, and I think that was a gas release, which it does also have.
It's freaking me out.
I don't let my kids use the computer. It's not because I'm worried about them messing around with it. It's because I'm really concerned that they are open to so many things. The computer, I let them use it. I mean, they're 3 and 4 years old. It's not a toy. A computer's a tool. So we spend a little bit of time on it. But I'm really encouraging them to experience many things. Play manually with toys on the floor, go outside, walk, learn flowers and trees and weather. We do all sorts of things.
Dave Chalk Connected is brought to you by TELUS. The future is friendly.
You know, when people think of gamers or people that play video games, they think about kids, you know, with the pants down to their knees and the baggy clothes and stuff, but the average age is 29 years old. And look at me, I'm 36 years old. I'm the type of person that's playing video games now, and that's what's really driving the whole industry. It's because the average age has gone up and there's more disposable income. That's why all these companies are spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing games. Last year alone, in the US, they sold $8 billion worth of video games. It's here to stay, and it's going to be huge.
No. Bradley's got bronchitis, but you know what? This could be one of the smoothest days we've ever had. Just make sure you don't use this.
Bye-bye. See who wants the robot. Let the robot live. Let him die.
Okay, that's it.
That's a wrap.
That is a wrap.